Hi, I'm Theo, and in this series we're focusing on fostering an environment of self-accountability in the workplace. This series contains 5 short videos to help you raise the bar. So after viewing the entire playlist, if you'd like more details, contact us for additional premium content, the Accountability Resource Guide, or simply to bring this workshop to your location. So now let's get started with video 1, Defining Accountability. Do you struggle with holding others or yourself accountable in the workplace? Well, if you do, let's start by defining what accountability is and what it is not. You see, if we define accountability, it is the act or state of justifying, explaining, or reporting something, or being responsible or obliged to do that. It is also the act or process of making something easy for others to take ownership of. What accountability is not is correcting someone in a cold, callous, or condescending manner. It's not placing blame on a person or department, and it is definitely not finger pointing for the purpose of self-justification. So the next time you have to hold someone accountable for something, make sure that you properly train them and that you communicate so that you create an environment of self-accountability in the workplace. Do you sometimes wonder why others don't hold themselves accountable for certain tasks within the workplace? Well, if yes, allow me to explain how to get to the root cause. Asking why 5 times is a great way to start the accountability process. What it means is that if there is non-compliance or non-adherence with a job process, a procedure, or a standard, that you simply continue asking why until you get to the root cause. What this does is it prevents you from jumping to conclusions so that you find out exactly why they're not accountable. You're able to close that gap by fixing that. You're able to address it with the team, and then you can hold people accountable. So remember, asking why 5 times is a tremendous way to start that accountability process, and I guarantee you, if you try it over the next 21 days, that you will see significant improvement. Do you often wonder why staff don't hold themselves accountable in the workplace? Well, let's talk about the concept of skill versus will. Let's say you ask someone to perform a task, but they're very hesitant about doing it. It could be due to their lack of skill or their lack of will. You see, skill is defined as the competence to do a task. So if someone lacks the skill to do the job, then as a leader, that means that you need to provide more training and more guidance. On the other hand, if someone lacks the will to do the job, and will is the desire and motivation to do it, what you need to do is provide more or a greater detailed explanation of why. What's the purpose of what you're asking them to do so that you can gain buy-in. So the next time you ask someone to perform a task and they're hesitant, take a moment to assess whether it's skill or will, and you'll be well on your way to creating an environment of self-accountability in the workplace. Have you been watching our Leadership Accountability series and wondering, how do I bring it all together? Well, allow me to explain. We recommend that you use the 5-step accountability process. Why? Because it creates alignment, clarity, and results. And it starts with step 1, which is to clearly define the expectations. Simply put, clearly define what you expect people to be accountable for or to follow. Step 2, involve staff in raising the bar. Maybe through team meetings or one-on-ones. Why? So that you gain buy-in, support, and input. Step 3, integrate the new standard into every aspect of the work environment. That could be new employee orientation, departmental training, it could be performance reviews, or even employee recognition. Step 4, set up measurements to quantify success. Think about it. If you're able to effectively and successfully implement the new standard and hold people accountable, how will it positively impact the organization? Will it help improve turnover, employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction, productivity, or any of your other KPIs. And that fifth and final step is to recognize success and to coach where improvement is needed. So there you have it, the 5-step accountability process. And I guarantee that if you watch the videos, attend the workshop, and start to implement some of these concepts, that you will definitely see significant results. And for those of you that have watched the entire accountability video series, here's a bonus. We call it the 6-step problem-solving process. So if accountability is an issue company-wide, what we recommend is that you use this process. It starts with step 1, which is identifying or defining what the problem is. In this case, that's very simple. We know it's accountability or a lack thereof. Step 2 really is to kind of get a team together and try to identify what's the root cause. Why are we having a problem with holding people accountable? Remember a couple of videos back when we said ask why 5 times as a concept? That works well in step 2. The next step after that is to brainstorm with your team on solutions to close the gap around accountability. What are all of the different ideas that they have? Remember, in brainstorming, no idea is a bad idea. Step 4 is to select which idea you're going to use. When you're brainstorming, you may have at least 20, 15, 10, 30, I don't know, a lot of ideas, but you have to narrow it down, select which one you're going to use. And then step 5 is to implement. So once you've selected the idea, you're going to implement it. Now, what I always recommend is that you pilot it first, just to kind of refine it, iron out the kinks. And of course, step 6 is to evaluate whatever solution we put in place to close that gap around accountability. So there you have it, the 6-step problem-solving process. Now, I know that we've thrown a lot of information at you, a lot of great concepts, by the way. So if you need more detail or would like more information on this series or any of our others, feel free to send us an email, and I'll tell you, it will be our pleasure to assist you.